Yo, welcome to my stream. This is King Daddy coming at you one more again to my mamacitas and daddies alike. I'm coming at you with hopefully it's gonna be not too long a video, but I'm coming at you because I'm an old school I guess you could say an um old school ideologist. And one of those old school people that have pretty much gotten sick and tired of the Gen Z or Gen Alpha of this generation. And I'm not the only one. There has been a viral video, a couple viral videos going around about some, I guess, uh, well, the last 10 years or 12 years of these Gen Z parents or new generation parents having their kids run rampant, letting their kids do whatever the heck they want to do with no repercussions, no consequences, nothing whatsoever. And they don't they don't um what's the word I'm looking for? They don't, they don't reprimand him. They don't uh me personally, if I were to do, say for instance, talk back at my parents, heck, talk back at my aunt, talk back at my grandma, they'll beat the hell out of me. Simple as that. I turned out better for it. I'm just keeping it 100. And and no racist or anything, but if it was a black parent, how big do you want the spatula? I remember my grandmother is old school. Well, was old school. If I didn't take out the trash, she's from the islands, Trinidad. If I didn't take out the trash and I was going through, I think I don't know, 10 or 11, I was going through chemo and I still get my butt whooped. And I was going through chemotherapy. Again, if I didn't take out the trash in a blizzard, yeah. But these new Gen Zs, oh no, oh no, uh-uh. Don't whoop them, don't whoop them. They're too precious for that. I'm about to play you a video. Well, it's not gonna play that well because for some reason my camera is playing blurry. But this is coming from a famous YouTuber, Brett Cooper, who is playing a video of this Gen Z parent letting their little bastard kid run around in Walmart, basically vandalizing the Walmart. And this kid couldn't be no more than 6 or 7. And a Gen Z parent should be basically in prison for allowing this little river snatcher vandalizing the Walmart. And none of the people in Walmart are calling the cops. I would have called the cops. I remember back in the day, a stranger would have beaten the kid. Bernie Mac. If Bernie Mac was alive, this wouldn't have gone down. But see, people are scared these days, are cowards to say something. Oh no, don't say nothing. Nah. If you say something or do anything, it's illegal to whoop your child now or something. What kind of world we live in? This is these kind of kids will grow up to be pedos and grow up to start shooting down schools. But now it's illegal to whoop your own child because now the parent is gonna end up in prison for whooping their own kid. Come on, man. This is what Brett Cooper has to say. It's not gonna play well through the video at all.
Modern parents are exhausted, and their
But
Gen
listen to what
Alpha
she has to
children
say.
are out of
At least you'll be able
control
to hear
to
what
the
she has to
point
say.
that even teachers are quitting in revolt. And as it turns out, shock of the century, gentle parenting apparently does not work. So instead, you should let your kids F around and find out. And I'm not joking about that, guys. I am saying that literally. Look at this recent headline from the Wall Street Journal. Goodbye, gentle parenting. Hello, F around and find out. Parents are ditching the softer approach to child rearing that has dominated the culture and taking a harder line. Out feral, they're feral. Guys, this is the best news we could have gotten for our culture, for our society, for the future of humanity, for the workforce, for future generations. This is incredibly positive. We should all be celebrating this finally. I mean, it is only what society and teachers and Sephora employees have been begging for the last few years. Now, before I tell you why,
the clarity is really trash. I don't know why it's not showing well, but like I said, this is absolute just mind-boggling what she's playing on here. And if you can't see it clearer on here, just go to Brett Cooper and type in on YouTube Brett Cooper Walmart, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But at least you'll be able to hear it. Hopefully, it plays through my YouTube channel. Who's ever watching through my 10 subscribers?
Sephora is going to be excited about this. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel if you've not already. And of course, ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our episodes. And of course, if you want to be up to date on live events and new merch and all things like that, go to brettcooper.com. That is the hub for all of that information. So speaking of Sephora, if you do not know what I am talking about, if you do not remember the episodes that I did about this in years past, let me jog your memory because this is truly insane. This is what has been happening at Sephora's.
Lately, Sephora employees have been complaining on TikTok that every time they work a shift, the majority of customers are children under the age of 13 that have no manners. They go up to the sample section and quite literally destroy everything and make a huge mess that they don't even bother cleaning up. In fact, some workers are saying that the kids will open up packaged products from a set just to take one or two items, thus resulting in the store losing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of product.
Basically, TLDR, the issue was that there were young people, tweens, running rampant at stores like Sephora in the mall, destroying product, being completely without parental supervision, or the parents were there and were doing nothing about it and were just giggling and laughing because their kids were being cute and funny because they have no control over their children. And people were speaking out, and this created a whole conversation about Gen Alpha, about child rearing, about gentle parenting, and the fact that it really was not working in practice. And all of that took place over the last year or so. And it is these Sephora kids, those types of kids that you saw in that TikTok, that have teachers literally quitting and walking out of schools. This headline reads, "Teachers are quitting their jobs in droves as a new generation of delinquent students push their patience to the limit." And that was in August of 2024. I also have a myriad of old episodes about that. This is something that has been going on for a while now. It has been an epidemic of out of control children. Also, you can see here they have an additional article under this one, like read more. Generation Alpha slammed as feral and illiterate iPad kids. So that is the point that I am making, is that this has been a problem. And obviously, all of this cannot be chalked up just to iPads. There's a deeper problem there. It all goes back to parenting. Specifically, in my opinion,
Again, I don't know why I can't get the clarity to show up clear, but as you could listen, she's talking about the Gen Z generation from younger parents letting their kids run rampant and doing whatever the heck they want to, whether it be in stores, in public, whatever. And she's talking about news articles like CBS, NBC, Dateline, whatever, are saying this is absolutely ridiculous. Even schools are afraid to even teach these stupid kids because their parents are allowing these stupid kids to run rampant and be stupid because the stupid parents are allowing the stupid kids to be stupid and ignorant, selfish, and act like demons.
Gentle parenting, the trend that now is hopefully on the way out. So if you don't know what gentle parenting
And again, it boils down to stupid parenting, ignorant parenting, scary parenting, because it boils down to being scared and it boils down to, oh well, let them be, oh, because they need to express themselves. You know what that sounds right? That's exactly what it sounds and looks like.
is allow me to introduce you. Gentle parenting, in short, is this kind of discipline or lack thereof strategy that does not yell or shame. It's not strict. They certainly do not spank their children. It is focused heavily on a child's emotions, not hurting their feelings, validating everything. Just watch this video and you can sort of get a taste.
Wait. I am so sorry that I said that it was time to go. How about we start a timer? No. Oh, gentle hands. Gentle hands. Gentle hands. I know you're having so many big feelings right now. Mommy just
Big
wants
feelings.
to validate them. Gentle hands. Hands are for gentle.
Now, obviously, this is satire, this is exaggerated, but it also isn't really exaggerated because you can go down a rabbit hole
This
of
is
these
just
types of
one of the
videos on
videos.
TikTok. You can see
Here's
parents
an
literally give
actual
instructional videos on how to not tell your child no. Because the word
exactly.
no,
Here's an
like the word
actual
stop, it
real
invokes
video I'm about to play. If I could find it, here it is. Here's the
So, as you
actual
guys might know,
video.
one of my favorite types of episodes is where we get to go back and
This is the
connect the dots on other
hold on.
things that we've talked about in previous episodes.
Now this is the real video that's been going around viral. This was just released a year ago. That went viral a year ago. That a Gen Z alpha parent allowed her child, no one, I guess 6 or 7, completely destroy the entire Walmart. And this is not satire. This is not a fake video. This is an actual real video about a year ago that this Gen Z parent and Gen Z allowed her Gen Z child just destroy the entire Walmart. Literally destroy the entire Walmart. It's just sickening. And the child basically will grow up to eventually start shooting up a school if this continues.
Feels like we're kind of like analyzing the world through the show. We're weaving together
This is
our
another
conclusions in a really, really cool way.
This is another video. These kind of parents piss me off.
And today, we have to go back yet again. We have to talk about Gen Alpha one more time. Well, I'm not going to say one more time because they're insane.
Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy one.
So we might have to talk about them a lot more. But Gen Alpha is a generation that is plagued by gentle parenting, the terror of retail workers. If you guys remember the Sephora story, the iPad kids, and this latest viral video sums all of that up in a perfect storm. Before we dive into this though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the comment section channel if you have not already, and of course, ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on all of our episodes. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I love Walmart. I am a regular Walmart shopper. I also live out in the boonies, so Walmart is the best option for us. And I'm even happier now after Robbie Starbuck got them to get rid of all their DEI and woke nonsense. But that doesn't mean that Walmart stores are completely safe from chaos, bad values, and terrible behavior, which is evident in this video that we need to watch. An appalling video of a young girl running rampant in her local store. Just watch. This is just in the middle of a Walmart. Throwing things. Great. Listen to the adults in the background.
I don't know if you can actually see
Don't
it
yell at
here.
her.
This is the little kid.
Do that to a little girl, is what she said. They literally said she could be the next president. I'm sorry, what? How is that our first response? Like, you are joking. That child is literally out of control. We all saw that. You were standing in front of her, watching her take bottles of grape juice and slam them on the floor. Don't do that to a
Are
little
you
girl. She shouldn't be
serious?
doing that to a store and to property that is not hers.
Are
That
you
is a priority
serious?
here. And why are all of these people standing around her so terrified of acknowledging that or even trying to discipline her? Where's her family? They're nowhere.
Are you serious? This little girl is throwing grape juice bottles or wine bottles, whatever it is, on the floor in front of Walmart employees, in front of in security camera, and the mother is just standing there yelling, "Don't do that! You can't do that! It's not right!" You know what that sounds like? That's exactly what that sounds like. Really? Really? And just like Brett Cooper saying, someone is yelling, this is gonna be the next president of the United States. You can't touch the kid. You can't. Hold on, I got a notification. Let me get rid of it. Okay, this is gonna be the next president of the United States. You can't touch the kid. Don't grab her. You can't do anything. And nobody's calling the cops. This is vandalism. Vandalism. Really? Okay, so let me get this straight. If it was a grown person, 20, 25, 30, what would they do with a person? Lock them up. Especially if it was a black person or a Muslim or a Hindi person, a Hindu person. Really? Really? Or a Mexican. Really? What would they do with a person? Person would be thrown to the ground, locked up for life. But since it's a little bastard, he's gonna grow up to be president of the United States of America. No, it's not. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow up to shoot a little school. How many school shootings have there been in the past, I don't know, 5 years? Do you realize there have been at least 3 or 4 shootings a year in the last 6 or 7 years because of little bastards like this? Look it up. Google it. Because Gen Z Alpha has mentality thinking like this. Oh, that little bastard is gonna grow up to be president of the United States, throwing wine bottles and destroying Walmarts in front of cameras. And everybody in the dang Walmart is taking photo shots and doing nothing about it. Like I said in the beginning of my video, when I was younger, and I know people my age will say the same damn thing, that uh strangers, if we did something like this, if we even raised our voice to our parents, what would happen? We would get the snot beaten out of us by another stranger. Not by a family member, but another stranger. Why? Because that's disrespectful. You can't do that to your parents. You can't do that to another person's property. That's property. That's vandalism. That's that's destructive. Are you stinking serious? Lock the person up. That's the only way these little bastards will learn. They're not gonna learn by, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can. It's not. They're not gonna learn by beating them. But you don't beat them. You whoop them. It's a difference between beating and whooping. It's a difference. People need to. Gen Z needs to go back to school and learn how to actually parent. If you're not ready to parent, then get your tubes tied. Where was I? Oh, here we go. Back to Brett.
In sight. It is literal insanity. I mean, in what world is that appropriate? And how have we gotten to be so upside down that our response to this, to seeing it in person, is just to stand around and film it and stand back and be nervous about getting her to stop? And more than anything, this says so much about our culture and what we value about parents being total doormats and feeding into the emotional whims of their children every single day, which as a result explains a lot about our current society and how we've gotten to where we are. Just brats and crybabies literally everywhere. Somebody commented and said, my parents would have beat the out of me right there in the store and it would have been acceptable by society.
Yep.
We have gotten so weak as a nation. Another person said, remember the good old days when if you did this in a supermarket, your mother would smack your ass in public to embarrass you and everyone
Yep.
would clap.
100.
And then again, when you got home to make sure that you didn't behave like a tyrannical brat ever again. I miss those days. Now stupid left white women would call the cops on you and civilized society suffered.
It's true. Plenty of warm memories.
Like literally, like that's
100%.
kind of dramatic, but also it's not dramatic at all. Like if I had done that, Diane would have yanked me out of that store so fast. I would have been sobbing in the car over the wrath of my mother of what I was gonna face when I got home. Like I would be outside doing yard work and walking the dogs for months, maybe a year, to try to make back the money that I just destroyed at
Thank
that
you.
Walmart. And yet in this scenario, that's apparently too much. They couldn't even get close to her. They didn't even want to talk to her or say that maybe she should not be throwing glass bottles on the floor of a Walmart. We have to consider what the child has been through. We can't touch a child. I'm sorry. As an adult, it is your job to guide and direct children. That includes doing the hard things when they screw up and act out. That is how you build decent, respectful adults. And shockingly, this might be crazy to the people in that video, the children need and crave that structure. It actually makes them feel safe. And based on what we saw in that video, that child does not seem to have those boundaries, which is probably why she's acting out.
She's acting out.
Somebody commented and said, she is begging for someone to care enough about her to give her boundaries and make her stop. Apparently, no one does.
That's
like,
what
this entire
someone
thing is
said.
crazy, but it's
She's-
more heartbreaking
she's
than anything else
begging
because what
for
drove
help.
this child to do this? And it's also heartbreaking to see that so many adults are terrified of what could happen if they stepped in. And this behavior just causes a ripple effect in society, as you have seen today, because a lack of support and boundaries at home, that leaches into society. If she acts this way at 8 years old in a Walmart with no repercussions, imagine what she'll do as a teenager, as an adult who has never been held responsible or has faced discipline in the slightest. I mean, we actually don't have to imagine. You can just take a look at college campuses and see what's going on there. I mean, look at the universities that actually contribute to all of this at the tail end of adolescence because they are complicit as well. I mean, just
Yep.
imagine the type of person and voter that this creates. Somebody.
And footnote, she's about to be a young mother, so she has a right to speak on this. So she knows what she's talking about, and she's a young mother. I had to add that because she's about to face she's about to be a young mother, but she's not a Gen Z mother. So she knows what she's getting herself into.
With no self-awareness, no personal responsibility, and this entitled sense of victimhood that has been cultivated over years and years of enabling. That is what we just saw. Someone who literally can't think of anyone but themselves. Someone who desperately needs to pray with Hollow. Guys, Christmas is almost here. It is the most wonderful time of the year. But sometimes, as I'm sure we've all experienced, this can also turn into the most stressful time of the year with travel and work and school and family dynamics, buying gifts, and on and on. And so if you want to stay centered this year and focus on the real reason for this season, one of the best ways to do that is to join Hallow's Advent Prayer Challenge. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and you can join the challenge titled For God So Loved the World and pray every day this Advent. In the prayer challenge, survivalist Bear Grylls and Jonathan Rumi from The Chosen guide you through the book A Severe Mercy, which is a remarkable story of a couple's encounter with God. We'll also hear from Francis Chan and Jeff Cavins, and actor Kevin James will be a part of the challenge to discuss the spiritual classic Divine Intimacy. You'll even hear Advent music from award-winning artists like Gwen Stefani, Lauren Daigle, Matt Maher, and more. This really will be a great opportunity to experience God's love, mercy, and healing, and to really center yourself on something that is bigger than yourself, which obviously the people in this episode need to do. So do not wait. Head on over to hallow.com/Cooper to get 3 months free. Keep your focus on the real reason for the season. Again, that is hallow.com/Cooper for 3 months free of Hallow. Now, as an even more immediate example, this type of behavior is a huge contributor to our school system's failing. I mean, granted, there's a lot of problems with our school system, but at least there were always good teachers. Teachers who showed up and sacrificed, who made very little money and still poured their own resources, their time, their money, their energy into these kids, who dealt with the ridiculous school boards, who dealt with the teachers union.
And this is what I was talking about. The school board and school system is scared to even teach some of these students, because why should they even go and to the schools when some of these students are being raised to be psychopaths, throwing glass bottles on the ground in pub. I mean, and these strangers or employees, mothers not doing a dang thing about it, and they're being recorded, and the strangers are not even calling the cops. Granted, you're not going to lay a hand on them to drag them out the store or whatever, but you're not even calling the cops. This is vandalism. It's destructive. Imagine if one of the glass bottles would have hit a shard of the or glass piece of the glass bottle would have hit maybe a baby that's in the store, or hit somebody walking by, whatever, and cut a stranger or whatever, and made somebody bleed. That's insurance. That could have been an insurance against Walmart. That a lot of stuff could have gone wrong during that incident, and then the mother could have been held responsible, or even Walmart could have been held responsible for insurance, health reasons. Anything could have gone wrong during that incident, but people were recording this incident and not doing a thing to call the police to de-escalate the situation. Do you see what I'm going here? Where I'm going with this? This is asinine stupidity, cowardness. And this little bastard could grow up to become a psychopath and shooting up schools, or worse. It makes no stinking sense. Make it make sense. This kind of asinine pisses me off. And this is why I can't stand Gen Z. I can't. Or Gen Alpha, whatever it's called.
And who dealt with the administrations and the parents because they loved these kids and they were called to teach it. Well, not anymore. They're walking away in droves because of the out of control children. It is no longer worth it to them. I mean, just watch this.
Whatever the reasons behind them may be, I felt were unsustainable for me. Quite literally a hostile environment. And
this is,
yeah, I went to school day to day.
This is an actual child, I think no more than 14, 15, teenager that's actually scared to go to her high school because of what's going on in high school. This is an actual teenager that's scared to go to school. This is one of the rare teenagers that actually has a brain cell.
Disassociating and experiencing panic attacks because I could not handle the constant chaos and disrespect and literally putting out fires every 5 seconds. And so the student behaviors are what caused me to have a mental breakdown and need to leave the classroom.
Of course, there might be people who say, well, she wasn't strong enough to be a teacher. She should have been able to withstand that. No, because what we're saying, that is not healthy. That is not normal. Teachers expect to go in and have to deal with some fights, maybe some talk.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. That was a young Gen Z teacher. I'm sorry, I was completely wrong. That wasn't a teenager. That was a teacher that was having mental breakdowns of because of some of the students that were basically psychopaths. I misunderstood what she was saying. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I completely misunderstood. She looked young, but she was actually a teacher, a young teacher that was um having mental breakdowns because of some of the students.
Back some bratty kids every once in a while. They do not expect to be physically attacked. They don't expect to be screamed at every day. They don't expect to have chairs thrown at them. There are literally teachers online who have gotten injured and have subsequently quit because of how children in their classroom attacked them. Students should not be injuring teachers. Students should not be causing panic attacks day in and day out. That is not normal. This is not a sign of a healthy, good society. It is unacceptable. It is truly insane. And she is far from the only teacher who feels this way, as you probably all know if you've watched the show before, because again, we're tying everything together in this episode. Like, we've covered this. It is an epidemic. In the comment section, one person said, parents don't hold their kids accountable, so how can you as a teacher, And she said, exactly. It's a team effort. Another person said, thank you. I feel like a bad teacher and a bad person when I see people say that they stay for the kids. But the number one reason that I'm burned out and want to leave is because of students and behaviors. Another person said, the way I got cussed out and screamed at by a child for an hour and a half because I told them they couldn't visit the nurse for no reason. Another person said, teacher here, I've had such a difficult last year due to severe behaviors. Parents don't hold kids accountable anymore, nor do they parent. Kids
Yep.
do not know how to act appropriately. And it's
Exactly.
not just the teachers
This
calling
is
this
what I
out. I
was
mean, look at this
talking
headline.
about.
Psychologists are already aware.
That
This was from 2021.
young
Kids showing
bastard
more
in
aggressive
Walmart
behavior,
is going to
psychologists
grow
say.
up
I mean, it is
to
Gen Alpha.
terrorize
These are the
teachers.
children of millennials.
Just
Millennials who champion
it's a cycle.
that gentle
It's a
parenting, who do not want
domino
to
effect.
trigger their children by
This is
saying no,
exactly
who
what's
allow
going to
their
happen
kids
with
to
that
rule
young
the
little
roost, who are the leaders of victimhood
little
and progressivism in
terror
our culture.
that
And I'm
happened.
sorry,
That's
but that
going to
style of
happen
parenting
from
just
Walmart.
doesn't work. It is not sustainable for
They're
a
going to
healthy,
start
productive
terrorizing
society.
the
And it might
teachers.
sound, sweet and fluffy and empathetic and, child-focused and child-centered. But again, yes, children need to be loved and cared for, but they need structure. They need discipline and guidance. That is your job as a parent to facilitate. Like, otherwise, we end up with kids like Walmart Girl and with adults who are so damn afraid of being canceled or triggering a child that they will not step in. We must change course because this is truly certifiably crazy. Hey guys, Brett here. For more stories and videos just like that, make sure you subscribe to my show. See you next time.
I keep meeting my birth mom, but she doesn't know it's
Well, that was my little rant. Sorry I had to go off on that, but these Gen Z alphas and Gen Z little children or terrorists. I don't know who came up with um the ideology that you have to protect these terror at all costs and you can't um discipline them because disciplining terrors and demons and Satan's spawns is entirely wrong. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you not be able to discipline Satan spawns? That's a Satan spawn. That's exactly what it is. Satan spawn. That you can't You can't tell anybody anything else, but that's a Satan spawn. They're going to grow up to be Satan spawn. And the reason for that is because they're begging they're begging for help, but the kind of help that the kind of help that you're trying to give them does not, like Brett has said, is not working. Is not. And I've worked in the psychology, I've studied psychology and worked in it for about a year, and I've seen things I shouldn't have seen and know stuff that I should not know. And sending terrorists like that, demon spawn, disciplining them by just taking their iPods away or putting them in timeout or or taking away their Xboxes or whatever, stupid things like that for uh uh uh, uh um for for I guess you could say really terrible, how what words I'm looking for really terrible things that they've done, and for things that they've done like vandalism. It does not work. That kind of a punishment does not work. You have to lay ground rules. You have to lay you have to lay serious punishments. Sometimes you cannot spare the rod. You can't. Am I saying beat them? No. But spanking them? Yes. Yes. Am I saying hit them on the arm or whatever? No. Am I saying spank them on the derriere? Yes. Sometimes that's what you have to do, especially if you don't want them to grow up to shooting schools and talking back to 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 um to teachers and uh and grown adults, or cussing out grown adults. A 10-year-old should not be cussing at all. Period. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't. 10-year-olds should not know should not know the XYZs. And if you're not familiar with what the XYZs are, look it up. A 10-year-old should not know, how should I put this lightly? How to make a baby. They shouldn't. When I was 10, let me rephrase that. When I was 10, I was in chemo, and I was still learning high school to college level. What happened to that? Shoot, the Chinese at 10 is in college. Not being racist, but that's just the way it is. But in the Western society, a 10-year-old is making a baby. You see the difference? And talking back to and talking back and vandalizing and cussing out and the older generation, and scaring the crap out of teachers, and bringing in weapons to school. You see the difference? Make it make sense, please. Make it make sense. Oh, don't forget shooting up and blowing up schools. make it make sense. It doesn't. This video has gone way longer than what I wanted to go on. I don't have many subscribers, but for the subscribers and views that I do have, please like in the comment section. Uh, please give me comments if you have any ideas or suggestions. Please leave it in the comment section. Please watch Brett Cooper's. Her videos are banging, and everything that she talks about is gold. Like I said, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Don't matter to me as long as you watch it. To all my mamas and mamacitas and daddies alike, my name's King Daddy. I'll be catching you on the go round. Peace.